BURKEFILE is sponsored by Virginia Nation Teas. Visit virginianationteas.com for the best teas in Virginia. This is BURKEFILE with Lauren Victoria Burke.
Is managing editor.
Victoria Burke, managing editor for Politics 365.
Here with us to discuss.
Victoria Burke, managing editor for Politics 365.
Here with us to discuss.
Joining me now, Michelle Cottle. Joining me now, Michelle Cottle and Lauren Victoria Burke. Thank you.
Fox Sports with Victoria Burke with Politics 365 and the Room Victoria Burke with Politics 365 and the Room Chapter.
Now,
Lauren Victoria Burke, managing editor.
Now, we have the Lauren Victoria Burke.
BURKEFILE is sponsored by Virginia Nation Teas. Visit virginianationteas.com for the best teas in Virginia.
I think anybody would recognize this. And what we're talking about, which is giving rifles and pistols to many of them farmers and people living in countrysides to defend themselves. I think there's a difference that most people recognize. Thank you everyone so much. Have a nice day.
Man, you promised the back of the room.
I will get you tomorrow. I'm sorry.
It's going to be another kerfuffle, Jen.
So obviously HBCUs have gotten a record amount of funding, as you know, even though it was misreported about the, $40 billion. Can you talk about the record amount of funding? Can you talk a little bit too about the repackaging of this money? This was for trauma, I think that was already in the budget. Can you just talk about that a little bit?
No, I think what's important for us is to make sure that people understand that we know the importance of HBCUs. So if you look at our administration, if you look at what we're doing, we're making sure that we empower the universities. They've done great with less for far too long. So we want them to do great with more money. And we think that the impact is just phenomenal. If you look at teachers, if you look at doctors, you look at lawyers, they come from HBCUs, and we need to empower them. And so that is, the president was serious about it on the campaign trail. He's been serious about it in the White House. He says HBCU probably more than any president ever.
Isn't it a historic amount of funding?
It is. I think it's somewhere around $5.8 billion. It's the most that's ever been given to HBCUs. But we're not going to stop there. And the truth is, it's not the only program that we have to empower HBCUs. And the sad part is my high school science lab was better than Morehouse's science lab. And so we want to make sure that our kids that go to HBCUs are not shortchanged in terms of the infrastructure, and especially with STEM and other things. So we're going to keep doing it. We're unapologetic about it. And for those who are envious, the key is to, it's been a long time coming, and we're going to make sure we do it. So.
Black colleges and universities, because many people will nod and not really know the value of HBCU, and you are that value. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Congresswoman, isn't there a record amount of money that the caucus,
Yes,
Bobby
it's
Scott now wants?
5.8 million up to 10 billion. I'm sorry. That's what I was saying. It's the most money that we've ever had in the history of the Congress, and I'm glad you pointed that out. Also, I want you to, as black men, it's important, especially for you to know, not chair of just the black folks of the Congressional Black Caucus. A black man is chair of education and labor. The Congressional Black Caucus has 6 chairs, and these are chairs of the entire Congress that happen to be black and scholars. 4 men and 2 sisters. And that also is very historical. And Trey, are you gonna?
Make sure you do. Hi everyone.
How are you?
While this is not why we want to come together, what a powerful feeling to be here with presidents of HBCUs and having the vice president herself, a graduate of an HBCU, talking about how we're going to stand behind our HBCUs, our students, our presidents, our educators, and we're not going to tolerate it. We're not going to tolerate it, and it's it's not enough to say we're not going to tolerate it. We're also going to provide funds to help them feel safer. We listen to these presidents, and they speak on behalf of their students. We heard from students, we heard from family members. We need to stand behind them, and we will. So Project Serve provides some resources, but the compendium of resources, technical assistance that we've worked together with our colleagues at DHS, Department of Justice, and others to make sure that they have tools at their fingertips to provide a safe environment for learning, which is what it's all about.
Mr. Secretary,
Yes.
Lauren Burke from Black Press USA.
Hi.
So this was money that has already been allocated for schools that experience trauma. Can you give an idea of how much money there is for that in the department's budget?
Sure. Project Serve is intended to address traumatic experiences, violence, school violence. We feel that this period of ongoing threats constitutes eligibility for Project Serve. So there's between $50,000 to $150,000, and what we're going to do is we're going to engage in conversation with our colleagues at the HBCUs to determine what their plan is and how to best support them.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Alrighty.